My name is Oladayo Bode Balogun, and I'm the founder and the lead mentor of Virtual Big Sister. And tonight, we'll be having an inspiring with stories mini conference, just talking around how to build healthy and productive relationships. And I have two of my amazing friends here with me, Adiola Babatunde and Bukola Obukunle. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. Um, Adiola and Bukola are here with me, and we'll just be sharing, we'll be having a very relaxed conversation around building healthy, productive, and long-lasting relationships, right? Things go on as they show. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you. So without much ado, I will just go ahead, right, talk about, so we're here to talk about relationships, building healthy, productive, and long-lasting relationships. And because we really want to make this very we want to answer your questions, want to make it very relaxed. We didn't want it to be something where we'll just come and hand you principles, right? What we have done is to get questions from the community to say, ask your questions, what do you want to know? And those questions are what we will be answering today, right? So everyone will be sharing personally. That's my guest, myself and my guests will be sharing very vulnerably and personally on how we have built relationships, right? So I'll just go ahead and start. Question one, and I'll start with you, Adiola. How can I build a strong and healthy relationship? And how can I build one and make it long lasting? Those are two questions I tried to just imagine one. I'll come to you, Bukola, right after that. Okay.
Right. So how can I build a long-lasting relationship?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to use, like you said, thank you so much. Let me start from there for inviting me. I really want to appreciate the work that you do. Oladayo, thank you so much. You're doing other people on the call. Thank you so much for joining and for supporting the Virtual Big Sister. And to our special guest, Madam Bukola, thank you so much. It's an awesome pleasure to be on the platform with you, also sharing. So thank you. Okay. So jumping right into the question, I'm going to use my life and as an example, because I know it's a relaxed thing. So I'm going to be talking from experience and sharing a story. I've known Dio, like she said, for about 18 years, and I've had other friends that I've known for 21 years. And these are relationships that I would not change for anything. One of the things that has sustained me in my relationship is that I know the character of the person I am dealing with. Let me say that again. So for example, when things happen, when I have a misunderstanding with my friend, for example, the way I interpret it is very unique. And so when I interpret this way to say that I know that this person doesn't mean me harm because I know her. And so I don't get upset. I wouldn't get upset the way someone else will get upset because of what happened. So for example, if my friend says she's not giving me her bag, for example, maybe somebody else might say, why would she not give me her bag? I mean, is she not my friend? Isn't that what friends are supposed to do? Because I understand the nature of who my friend is, I know that she doesn't mean me harm. That's not why she's not giving me her bag. Maybe she just doesn't want to give me. And I allow that to happen because I'm like, and that's okay, right? I should have a friend that should tell me, I just don't want to talk to you right now. Can you go? I want to sleep. Yeah, don't talk to me right now. I want to sleep. That honesty, that openness, that allowing your friend be free with you, be open with you, for me is at the bedrock of a healthy friendship, right? So one of the things that sustained me over the years is I overlook whatever it is my friends are doing and say, I understand the character of this person. Her intention is not to to hurt me or to make me feel bad. So no matter what my friend is doing, I'm like, I would even make excuses that my friend is tired. That's why she said I shouldn't use her bag. My friend is, I would make excuses. And this is why I'm able to make those excuses. In the past, while we started the friendship, I have seen this person's character. I know this person. So it's just like God, for example. Sometimes God allows us to go through some hard times. And when you're going through that hard time, you don't now say, God doesn't love me, right? You know without a shadow that he loves me. And what I'm passing through, and it's not him trying to make me, it's not him trying to hurt me. It's like something he knows he has to pass me through. It's like something I have to go through to come out better and stronger. Yeah. But while you're going through that thing, you don't doubt his love for you. That for me is at the bedrock of all my healthy, long relationships. There.
Thank you, Adiola. Thank you, Adiola. Very apt answer. Bukola, over to you.
Thank you very much, Adiola. That was so spot on. And thank you, Oladayo, for Venture Big Sister, for inviting me or having me on this platform. It's such a great honor to be sharing the platform with Madam Adiola. And thank you, everyone, for honoring us and coming here to, to learn on how to build your own personal relationships with other people. So personally for me, looking back at my relationships that have been long lasting, like I've had relationships that are up to 15 years and they're still running, and we are not in the same continent, we are scattered all over the place, and we still have calls every week. We have our group chats, someone is having something doing, we are sending people, to support all of those things. And what has really helped me in terms of those relationships is that when I go into relationships, especially friendships, I choose friends. I don't just, so I have friends, I have acquaintances, but the people that are my friends, I actually make the effort to choose them. Mm-hmm. And now, when I choose them, like Adiola said, I look at character, I look at values, I look at values, I look at character, I look at, okay, does the way this person thinks, does it align with the things I believe? Does it match what I'm looking out for in my life, even as a young child? So these friends, I've had them since when I was a teenager, right? So I look at all of those things. And then the other thing for me is that I try to put in, so the moment I decide, okay, this person is worth keeping, this person is worth having as my friend, I am loyal. Like there's nothing you want to tell me about my friend. I would hear you, I would smile, I might even apologize on her behalf, right? But then she's my friend. Whatever now happens afterwards, I will call my friend to, to our own inner closet, and then we can trash our issues out. But then that's what I look out for. And then I expect the same, from my friend, because that friend of mine would also have that kind of character, like that loyalty. So those are the things that has really helped me keeping long-term friendships, which have really been robust. Although, like I said, we are not in the same city, we are not in the same country, we are in different continents, right? But if anything happens to me today, like my friends would know, they know my routine, they know where I'm at, they know where I'm traveling to, they know what happens at my workplace. I know what happens at their workplace. I know their manager's name, their employees' name. So, again, intentionally choosing the people and making sure that your character and their values align with yours, their beliefs align with yours, and then, working towards loyalty. Those are the things that has helped me to forge good alliances in terms of friendships.
Thank you, Bukola. Thank you, Adiola. What I hear both of you say is that knowledge is key to having a good friendship. And so that just says that it's important to build the foundation right, because before you can even start to make excuses and assumptions for a friend, before you can start to trust a friend, you must know the friend, right? And so what I would say is to build a healthy and productive relationship and a long-lasting one, it's important that you build well. How you start is really important. It's just like a house. If you're going to be building a house, right, you need a good foundation. And one of the things that I see that have been the cause of, friendships that then become unproductive or don't last as how we build, right? If you get into a friendship and you don't, take steps to build, get to know who you're with, Bukola mentioned values. If you don't know the values of the person you're dealing with and how they align with yours, there will be issues because you're going to wake up one day and the person is going to be doing their own thing and you're going to wonder, how did I get into this, right? So it's important that we know how to build. And one thing, while preparing for the session, while just thinking about it, something that kept coming to mind is coming to America, right? The story was around, somebody who wanted to build a relationship that was genuine and that was real. And so what he did was that he stripped himself of everything that might have made all the glamour that might have made people attracted to him for the wrong reasons, and went, to find someone who was going to accept him for who he was. And they started on that note because you're first an individual, you have values beyond every other thing that you're going to have in your life. It's important that you're connecting with people as who you really originally are, right? So when you build step by step, when you take time to set a relationship and you don't jump, and when I mean jump, this is what I'm saying. I was listening to something Apostle Joshua Selman was sharing around friendship and just sharing how the past generations, have made a mess of relationships and friendships because from day one, someone comes to greet your mother or your father and they're like, come on, this my son is about graduating. This my daughter is in secondary school now. I mean, they just practically spill the whole family secrets on day one to a friend, right? At the end of the day, if you don't know the friend, you don't know the person yet, you have not built well, you're liable of exposing yourself or your family, right, to the wrong things. And then when the person then goes to the streets and starts to tell everybody or does something funny, you then start to wonder, oh, this person betrayed me. But you see, access is something that is key in building relationships. You have to give access to people part time. You can't just come on and make day one people that you meet your best friends tomorrow. You have to go step by step, and then you also have to know how to categorize friendships. Okay, so for instance, your classmate does not automatically translate to your best friend, might become your bunkmate does not automatically translate to your best friend, your neighbor, right? So you have to understand that there are different categories of friendships. There's acquaintance, and some people are great being acquaintances, right? Your reading partner, okay? We're cool kind of people, and then confidence. So if you understand that there are different stages of relationships, you would enjoy relationships better because you put everyone in the bucket in which they belong, and then you would not mix things up, right, and mess things up. Okay, so thank you again, guys, for the insightful answers. I'll go on to the next question. So someone is asking, how do I go beyond being acquainted to becoming friends with a person? Now I'll start with Bukola.
Yes, that's a good question. So I would just use an example of one of my longest friends, right? So I met her I think during NYC, at the camp. Those first, like, the first week you get to camp and then you have to register all of those things, and then both of us were on the line, and just said I hello hello, and then she did something, and what she did, like, she was able to everywhere was chaotic, and she was able to tell people to form into lines and you know become more orderly. And then I'm like, okay, I think I need to pay attention to this person, right? And then we got talking, and then from there, luckily for both of us, we were in the same hostel, and then we're in the same, and then we just from just being, just saying hello, hello, and then we're in the same hostel, and then I, I think I offered to help her with something, right? And she accepted the offer, and then she also, because I offered to help her, she also noticed me, right? Because I had noticed her, but she hadn't noticed me in the first place. And then when I offered to help her with something, she noticed me, like, oh, such a nice person. And from there, we started talking, okay, so where are you from? And then all of those things. and that's how we became close, and that's how we started our friendship. And that friendship is like almost 14 years now, right? And we are like, she's one of my closest people that I have in my circle now. So how I was able to move in that friendship from in that with that example is from just being an acquaintance or from complete strangers, right, to being an acquaintance and now to real friendship is that it was a journey. So first thing I did was I noticed that I saw one or two things in her that I liked, and then we just smiled at each other and then say hello, hi, hi, and then when I saw that she needed something, I offered to help her, right, so that she would also become more aware of me, which she did. And then one or two things worked together. We ended up being in the same, I think, corner or something. And then we started talking. We became, okay, okay, wake me up in the morning when you want to do this. And then from there, we started sharing things. Oh, and then we started talking about family and friends and school and all of that. And it's so the point is that for you to be able to move from just being an acquaintance to someone to being a real friend, it's most likely that if it's someone you really want to have in your circle, it's most likely that you have to offer something, right? Offer value, maybe to help, to solve a problem. It might not be something really huge. Like I think what I helped my friend with, I can't even remember. It's something very banal, like very flimsy. But then at that point, it was a need for her, and I was able to help her fix it. She might not even remember again. I can't even remember what the help was again, but I know I offered it, and be willing, be open to offer something to people. It doesn't have to cost you anything. And then people will notice you, or the person will notice you, and then pay more attention to you. And then, you can start discussing from there. And that's one of the ways you can, move from just being an acquaintance to to being friends. And then also the other thing I did was that I was quite intentional because I knew that, okay, I think I want to have this person because I was alone. I didn't know anybody in the whole place and I don't want to get lost. And, so I was really intentional about saying, okay, I noticed the person, I watched out, okay, when does this person need help? I offered the help and I was intentional to follow it up. So basically that's one of the ways you can move from that acquaintance to being good friends.
Thank you, Bukola. Adiola.
That was fantastic. That was fantastic. Thank you so much, Bukola. Offer it is the key. So let me add to that. So let me say, in addition to that, because I thoroughly agree with that, is to show the person love, right? Which is also like offering something, because you can't love without giving something, right? So it's to show the person love. So again, I'm going to use the exact examples that happened to two of the friends I have for the longest. I didn't know what I was doing at the time, but at the time, I went to my friend's house to visit for the time, right? I actually went there because I wanted to get something. But to my friend, it meant such a huge deal because then I don't think so many people were visiting. I mean, we were like 17, 16, 17. So I went to visit her. And it wasn't just her, there was another friend I had that I did that for, yeah? And so they saw that as me, offering something, like offering to, like, I'm leaving my house to come all the way to come and see you. And at that time, it wasn't like now that everything is online. Once I send you a message, I mean it. This one, like I went to their house, like, when you take like 14 buses, I'm just exaggerating. When you like take some buses and, you're using your transfer money and you're doing all of that. So it was later, years after I started to think that how did this happen? Like, how do we get here? That I realized that, I went out of my way to visit this person at home. And that was why this person reciprocated and said, okay, I think there's something here, right? So that's one thing. I visited the person, but I started by showing love, right? By showing love. And just like Bukola said, when you love somebody, you give, you offer something. So you can let someone look your way in a way of friendship. Like, I just don't want to be acquaintances. I want to see more than this, right? And do something that nobody else, maybe not nobody else, but do something that someone will not regularly do for them. As I speak to you now, I'm actually shopping for something I want to buy for a new, I'm just trying to appreciate someone, and I'm shopping for something I'm going to buy and just deliver to her house. So I've asked for her house address and I'm going to do that. This is me offering something, This is me showing love. This is me saying, I want us to take it a step further. Do you see? I could have just kept my gift and said, oh, thank you so much. But I want to be very deliberate. I'm using Bukola's words now. I want to be deliberate about creating that line of friendship, opening up that line of communication to say, I want to be in your life. I want to be in your space, which for me is a very intentional thing because, we have to guard our hearts with all diligence, and the people that we interact with have access to our hearts. So for me to say that I want somebody in my space, it's quite a decision. So yeah, but then let me just leave it there.
Yeah. Thank you, Adiola. Thank you, Bukola. You guys were really spot on. And so I wouldn't add much of my own examples because I mean my examples are along the same line. Take steps, be kind, get a gift, show kindness, smile, right? It doesn't have to be anything big, but be vulnerable enough to say that, okay. But one thing I would also say is that not every acquaintance should become a friend, right? So you also in being intentional, when you extend your hand of friendship, watch and still say, okay, is this somebody I should take on to the next level? Is this, watch their responses, their body language, their values, and just, ensure. But when you know that, oh, this is the one that you want to take on to the next level, then by all means, extend your hand of friendship, and then it's by simple things. You don't even have to have a lot of money. You don't have to have a lot of, a lot of your nice acts, a lot of love, and people see through your hearts, right? Don't think that people don't know. There's something called vibes. People can feel vibes, by the way. So, show appreciation. And this moving from acquaintance to friendship and relationship goes across all kinds of relationship, whether peer to peer, whether older relationships, whether younger relationships. If you're keen about building a relationship, take a step, that you feel the person would appreciate, and go on to. So I'll quickly go on to my next question. So I have my question here, the question here saying, how do I define my relationships with people? How do I define my relationships here with people? So maybe I will just start on this one, and then have Bukola and Adiola continue. So definition, I think I started on it earlier, saying that it's important that we know how to categorize our relationships. So you have to know that some people will always be acquaintances, and there's nothing wrong with it, right? Some people will be colleagues. Okay, they might never move from colleagues, or they might never move from classmates to close friends. Some people will be were cool kind of people, you guys can go to movies together, you can gist, you can, have a good time, read together. And some people will be confident. Okay, I mean, there are people that they are defined in different ways by different people, but it's just to understand those buckets and know how to keep people. I think first things first, right? Let everyone start at the start. Okay, don't try to promote people prematurely. There's that tendency to want to quickly get onto people and say, okay, leave people at the start, when you meet them, and then gradually start to, as things unfold naturally, okay, then start to fit people into buckets. And don't get so carried away that, you mix up the buckets and people are in, different, people have different access. So what is access? Access is giving people, is how much people know about you, how much people have, what's it now? How much people can access things around your life. So you have to know, the reason for this definition is so that people can have access at different levels. So your confidence, for instance, can have a lot of access about you, can know a lot about you, can have a lot of information, but your acquaintance might not have that much information. Perhaps it's only what is public that they would have, what's on social media, what people already know. Okay, well, cool. You have to determine, okay, is this sensitive? Is this something I can lay in this person's hands, or is this something I should keep to myself? Okay. And it's not something anyone can really teach you, but it's just the Bible says, don't cast your pearl before swine. It's just knowing what is precious, and knowing what is okay to hand over to people. And it's a step-by-step wisdom, okay. And I would just say that that's it. So you have to look at people in your life. You can take a note and be sincere with yourself. Do I really have a confidence? Do I have people who are loyal to me, who I tell my stuff and I don't hear it on the street? Do I have people who I tell my stuff and they would keep it with them? Do I have people who I share my burden with and they will pray? Do I have people who I don't even need to share what's going on with me, but they know it's a need and they can pray, right? So you have to keep people in different buckets and don't give people much more than what they can handle. Because some people are just in your life, just want to play, just want to gist, and then you go and tell them that, oh, this is what's happening in my life now, and then you're broken, your heart is broken when you then hear it 2 streets away. Because I mean, they just felt like, oh, this is gist, right? Gist. So that's what I would say. So I'll just allow Jola just add a voice to this.
Yes. Thank you so much, Dio. That's a beautiful place to start. Yes. And in addition to what you said, I would add what you allow is how you define a relationship. That's what I do, what I allow. So if I know that I don't want this person to like come really close, right? There's some levels of access I won't allow. So I won't allow you call me at a certain time, for example. I won't pick the call, right? I won't allow you into some of my, there's some things I won't invite you for. And this is not me saying, oh, these are the category of people. No, it is a deliberate attempt to say this person can come this far because I don't know. I mean, I don't know, like, maybe I don't know this person like in total, like I don't know the person, all of that. Now, if I let someone call me at 11:30 p.m., someone calls my phone and I pick the phone, the person, I'm telling the person that for you to call me at this time, something is, you must really want to talk to me. And that's why I pick. So if my best friend or any of like Dio, if you call me at 11:30, and I'm like, for Dio to call me at this time, something is going on. Like Dio wouldn't just call me, right? I've allowed us to get into that kind of relationship. But there's some people that if they call me at 11:30, I wouldn't even say what is going on. I'll be like, no, why would somebody do that? You know, I'll be questioning, why would they do that? What rights did they have to do that? Because I haven't allowed that kind of access. Do you see? So what you allow is how you let the person know that we are chummy or we are not chummy. And I'm saying this on purpose because now that we are, I was going to say now that we're all teenagers. Well, I'm a teenager. I don't know about you guys. I'm young as child. Do you see? Yeah, we're all 16 here. You know what I'm saying? So now that we're all teenagers, yeah. Particularly,
also, so
there's no adults.
There are young adults here also.
The young adults here also. Thank you. Right, we're young adults. No, I choose teenager. I'm 16. I beg at this rate. Right. Right. I love it. You know, and imagine that conversation that we have with the opposite sex. Yes, I want to quickly touch it very quickly. So a guy is coming to you, he's asking you out, you know, he's sending signals, and you allow him call you from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. You guys are talking. Then you say that we are not dating until you have allowed him access. You are officially dating. You even do the guy a favor, just do the guy a favor and write him a letter to say, now that we have started dating, what are the rules? I mean, just enter the relationship already. Because you have allowed it, right? You're not dating somebody, but the person would always come to your house. You make amala, you make egusi or bono, you give bottle of Fanta, and you're saying that person coming to your house, right? And you say, we are not dating. No, you are, in fact, you are married. It just remains small, just remains altar call, just remains white gown, and just do the thing. So I'm painting this, I'm painting it like this for you to see what I mean by allow, right? So allowing people access into your life, the kind of access you give them, it's also sending a signal to them to say, this is the kind of relationship I have. Or say he says you're married, it's true. Do you see? So the kind of access you give someone helps them understand how far to go. So imagine, Bukola, imagine me saying, Bukola, can you just imagine like today is the 14th of August. We just met on this platform. I just say, Bukola, please, I'd like to use your green bag tomorrow. Please, can you send it to my house? You know, someone in your heart, you're like, Ugao, like, when did we marry that we have started sleeping in each other's rooms?
Everyone understand what's going on.
What's really going on? Bag long, that she didn't even say, can I get to know you? Let's have a phone call or
a coffee.
Now I'm asking for more than our current relationship allows. If you allow me borrow your green bag, we have entered another realm. Do you see? We've entered another level. So now it's as if someone to come and say, Bukola, she brought me her bag last week now. They're like, you guys are very close. Do you see? People like, that means you guys are very close. Yeah. So the level of access you grant people, what they can require of you, what they can do, with your time. Allow me also say that how much of your time you give to them is also a huge pointer to how much of access they have into your lives. Yeah. So you're not very close with someone, but you talk to them for 2 hours. You are close, so you are close, very close. Do you see? So I would just leave it like, check. If you want someone to be really close with you, then you are increasing their levels of access. You're saying you can come to my house, you can call me at odd hours, you can talk to me, you can, you can use my stuff. And if you don't want them to like really get close to you, because again, there's some people that you don't want to get close to you, when they call you at some point, don't pick it, not because you are trying to be snobbish, but because you don't want to allow that level of access. And I promise you, it's a healthy way to control who comes into your life. I promise you. Thank you, Danny.
Adiola, really spot on, and this is something, because I'm coming to you, this is something that I do regularly. I mean, what Adiola has described as something that just defines how I handle friendships. I've made my mistakes, right? I'm not even coming to say that I'm not giving people access beyond what I should. There's some people I've given access without checking. There's some people, but what I do mostly, since Diola touched on dating relationships, there was something I used to do, while dating. It's not just the access I give you, it's even the access I allow you give me. I don't know how to, but let me give the example. If a guy is coming around me and I know that he likes me and he starts to want to take me out to lunch and starts to want to buy gifts, you see, I'm the one who stops him. I know that most girls are like, well, if he's spending his money and I've not told him anything, that's his business. No, I stop him, right? To say, okay, uncle, I know that you like me. I know that all of these things are because, and I don't feel the same way. So I don't want you to go far into this thing and start to feel as if I broke your heart, okay? And that's the kind of girl I was, do you see? Because a lot of people, you would collect the gifts, the guy, I remember one particular thing, a particular guy who, before I knew it, he had bought a dress. And I think we were just strolling around, a shopping plaza, and we just entered and someone like, this dress, and he bought it. I was just looking at the girls in that store that time. If I would deal with you guys, the guy bought it. Anyway, I kept the dress in my wardrobe with the nylon. Like, if this guy talks too much, I will return the dress. I mean, that's how deliberate I was. And then I remember him going on to say, oh, you don't have a car, and they're thinking of banning cars, and cars become more expensive. Are you sure you don't want me to buy you a car? And I'm wondering, guy, how? Many people are so, because we also just want to benefit, we want to be a parasite. We want to take where we're not sown. You just go and you collect things and you get yourselves into trouble. So it's the other way around. If you see that someone is trying to really extend friendship, or someone is trying to, and you don't want it, please don't take it, okay? Besides you also just blocking people's access, you also don't take their access for granted. Don't go all the way. And that's why a lot of people find themselves in trouble, because see, they said the gift of a man makes room for him. So when a person continues to deposit stuff and you're taking it, over time, they're going to have room in your life that they're not supposed to have. Okay, so Bukola.
Okay, thank you very much. You said so many things that I would love to touch on, and also you've said a lot of things. And all you said about access, right? Guys, it's really true. The kind of thing you accept from people, the time is really important. Time is a currency of life. So if you're saying that, okay, this person is not your friend, but you're always rolling out with this person, taking a walk with them on the street, you're always just, my friend, you're inviting them to your home, your parents know them, and this person is not a friend. Like in your head, you're thinking, okay, this person is not my friend. Just like, it's just somebody. No, it's not just somebody. It's like it's real. I remember while we're growing up, this happened to my brother. So yeah, one of my brothers had a friend, and then after school they will always come home and all that. And my mom did not really like the boy. The other boy, not the boy himself, but I think my mom was really protective about who we bring into our lives and into our homes. And then my mom found one or two things about the the parents of the boy, like my brother's friends.
Parents, yeah.
And she was not so satisfied with it, and she was like, this boy would influence my son and all of that. And she had to like be so deliberate in terms of saying, you know what, you can't be friends with this. She had to tell my brother that you cannot be friends with this person, this and this, and she gave her reasons why they can't be friends.
Yeah.
Said, of course, I know that you guys you attend the same school, you're in the same class, but I cannot allow you to be friends with this person because of 1, 2, 3 reasons. And I'm not telling you to go and tell the boy in school that your parents are this or that. I'm not sending you that message. If I hear anything like that, you have yourself to blame. But I don't want you to see. I don't want to see you together because you guys don't belong. You don't belong together. So
Yes.
my mom was able to help my. I'm sure she must have seen 1 or 2 things, like I said, because she's like she's like a mother hen, and she really tried to protect my brother from from that friendship.
Yeah.
Now the other friend, I don't know where he's right now, but at least that my brother right now, because even as at that time in his academics, he was dropping. He was really dropping. He was just and then I think that was one of the reasons why my mother said, you know what, you cannot be friends with this guy because you guys you don't even align. What I see you doing in your life doesn't make sense with you and this guy. So they had to cut it, that access. So the guy stops coming to our house. Before, my brother would go to the other guy's house, spend time. All those times, that access was, they were taken off, they were blocked off, and all of
Yeah.
those. And that is one of the things you think about when you grant access to people. And I
Yeah.
just quickly want to say something about what someone said. So how do you explain on how you promote people prematurely? Somebody asked that question. So you promote people prematurely when both of you are not on the same level of friendship. So for example, this person is still seeing you as just an acquaintance, and you are already seeing the person as best friend forever. You put on your status BFFs. Meanwhile, can the person put you as BFFs on their own status? Can they boast that, okay, I boast that this person is my friend, this person got my back?
Yeah.
And that is you promoting people prematurely.
Surely, yeah. Yeah.
Because the thing is, if you do that, if you promote people prematurely and they're not ready, they will disappoint you. And that's why you might have heartbreaks. And then you'll be doing things to them and you expect them to, because friendship is also about expectations. You expect some things back and they're not bringing it, they're not reciprocating. And you're like, okay, why is this person doing this? But you cannot understand because in your mind, you're still thinking about BFFs. Meanwhile, you are only BFFing yourself. Like Adela said, you are only married to yourself. The person is not married to you, you're on your own. You're only the husband or the wife in this relationship. So always make sure that both of you are on the same level, like you have the same understanding. And how you can do that is have conversations, around that friendship. Say,
Yeah.
okay, so are you? And then say, okay, or you can even test maybe with something, say, find a way of testing that person's perception about you. If you're telling the person to come to your home and the person is always giving you one reason or the other, and your parent don't even know this your friend. Meanwhile, his own parent or her own parent knows you, but your own parent don't know him because your friend never comes to your house.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not gonna work. So yeah, that's all I want to say.
Thank you, Bukola. Thank you, Bukola. And this goes both ways. What Bukola has said, just not for friendships, but for dating. You say you're dating a person. The person is the person dating you. Do their friends know that they are dating? Are you alone in that relationship, right? As much as relationships are supposed to, we're supposed to love each other without a lot of, saying, oh, it's only when you do this, I do this. We're supposed to love each other, unconditionally, as it were. But we must also check to be sure that the people that we're extending friendships to, are sort of at the level that we are, are sort of, they want what we want, right? And they appreciate what we're doing. Okay. So it's important that you check from time to time to see. I mean, I have been a victim of friendships where I have just run on, and then you look back and realize that, oh, you're the only one running with this thing. Okay. The person has sparked since, and like, okay, if you bring it, I will take it. But you see, I'm not in it, sort of. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Faith. You can ask a question, and we'll try to take it once we're done with this question. So let's quickly move on to the next question. The next one is a rather long one. So in the interest of time, maybe I will start to have us just do one so that we just manage our time. Someone is saying, to build healthy, long-lasting relationships, I believe a person has to be vulnerable in a way so as to foster trust. The problem is I'm naturally very guarded and I don't like to let people in my space. I've had some friends tell me, oh, I don't know you, I don't understand you at times, or just make some misconceptions about me that I know they wouldn't if I lowered certain boundaries. So my question is, how do I get to the point where I can trust people enough to let them into my space? Adjola, I'll probably just allow you to take this one.
So this young lady is describing me when I was a lot younger. Now I know how to deal. So the first thing is, you don't have to lower your boundaries. Let's start from there. You don't have to lower your boundaries. If you don't want certain people in your life, then you shouldn't struggle to have them in your life. Let's have that clearly. And the second thing is that in friendships, yes, there is a level of vulnerability involved. I must be very honest with you. There is a level of vulnerability involved. And just like any other relationship, your friendship may hurt. Not all friendships are rosy all the time. I think this is one thing that a lot of people have forgotten about friendships. We think that everything should be smooth all the time. Maybe it's only marriages that can have ups and downs. No, friendships also have ups and downs. There are days when your friend will hurt you really bad, painful, but you have to be able to say, I really want this person in my life and I'm willing to make the necessary adjustments. So you will still be vulnerable. You will be vulnerable, meaning that this person has the capacity to hurt you. However, you would go back to what Bukola said initially, right? To choose and be deliberate to allow the person that has the same value as yours in the first place. So number one, it starts from where we started from. First of all, allow in only those who have the same values as you. So you're not lowering your boundaries for anybody. No, you shouldn't. It's just like saying I don't allow, it's just like saying I go to church every Sunday, but I have somebody who says, let's go to church every 6 months. So you want to lower your boundaries and go to church every 6 months for that person. Nah, fam, you shouldn't do that because that's not your friend. Then that's just clear. You guys are not, you don't share the same values. So that's sorted. With respect to vulnerability, the person will do some things that you won't like. The thing to do about that is to have a conversation about it. I remember when my friend and I just started, sometimes when I can't express what I want to say, how she has hurt me, I write a letter, right? I'll say, this is what you did, this is what I don't like, this is what I think you should be like. I write a letter because I wanted to I was being vulnerable because I was deeply touched and hurt, but I couldn't explain what was in my heart. So you will be hurt. Whether you are vulnerable, whether you want to be vulnerable or not, you don't have a choice. In any friendship, you will be hurt. How do you deal? Communicate. Tell the person how you feel. Tell the person how you feel. And if you can't, write a letter. You can use my method, write a letter. That even helps both of you build something healthy and long-lasting. To say this person, because it's not, there are some people that you won't even have the conversation. They hurt you, you're like, you have hurt me. You just quietly lock up the friendship and be doing hello from afar. You know that one, there's also that one. You just do silent treatment, just lock it up and be doing hello from afar. But when you communicate with the person that, this is how you hurt me, this is what I think, this is what I don't like, you're trying to tell the person that I want us to go further, and these are the things I don't like. So when I started to see what my friend likes and doesn't like, I started to reduce those things that my friend doesn't like, and increase, start to do the things that my friend likes. So if we didn't know, if all of the disagreements that we have, if we didn't get to know all of that, we would have a fake friendship. We'll just be, hello, hi, what's up, what's up? You see what I mean? So over to you, Dari. Yes, so he says she does mail sometimes. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I mean, it's really important for you to communicate in whatever way, verbal, written, to all kinds of relationships. I would also just add that, if you're struggling to communicate in a relationship, maybe that relationship is not one you should stay in. Okay, that's another angle. And another thing I would add, I had a relationship whereby, very good friendship and all, and I was surprised to see something that happened, right? I promised I'll be vulnerable, right, with you guys. And so I communicated this. In fact, I first of all lived in this belief for the longest time, like, you know what, this can happen with us. This is not, but eventually I thought to ask, and I saw that my worst fears were confirmed. So I felt like, okay, thank God we're talking about this, or this. So everybody picked, okay, this is where I was wrong, this is where I was right. But you see, it continued afterwards. And so I took a decision, okay, to say that, okay, I'll step away from this friendship. So there are times that, if you have communicated and you have made clear what you don't like, and someone continues to do it, then maybe there's a problem of value. If the person doesn't value what you value, or does not value the relationship as much, so you might want to consider and think about it. Is this thing worth continuing, or can we love from afar? Okay, can we love? Because one thing that is important for us to know is that love is what God has commanded us to do. Association is a choice. That's not a command. Okay, so you can forgive, and you can still have healthy relationships. So you can reclass some people to say, you know what, we were once confident, but maybe now we're now cool, right? And that's probably what will work for our relationship going forward. Okay, but vulnerability might also be that you're dealing with something that you need to heal from. Okay, if you're so guarded, you might also need to heal from whatever you're dealing with, so that you find it easy to be vulnerable with people. Okay, because we're made for relationships, and you can enjoy the fullness of relationships if you don't come to the place of vulnerability. So you might have to look at why you're guarded, you're too guarded in the first place. Whatever has happened to you that has hurt you deeply might be something that you want to address, so that you can have better relationships. I mean, and that doesn't mean that you have to be open to everybody, okay? And that brings us to the next question. And let me just ask Bukola straight up. The next question is saying that in building a healthy relationship, are we to be transparent with everyone? Like maybe not everyone, like in every aspect, sorry. So the person is probably talking about, we're close, maybe at different levels of closeness. Should I share everything necessarily with my close friends? Is that what vulnerability means? I mean, this probably another.
Thank you for that, but I think that question is a little bit dicey, but I would take it on. So from what I understand and the way I deal with my friendships, right? So there are let's look at it the way Jesus Christ looked at it in terms of his friendships, right? Mm-hmm. So Jesus had like the beloved, the 3, the 12, the 70, the multitude, the 120, and the multitude, right? And the things John the beloved had access to, sometimes Peter, James, and John 3 didn't have, and then the thing the 3 had access to, like they saw the transfiguration, they were with him at Gethsemane and all of that. The 12 did not really have access to, right? So there are some things that, so I wouldn't necessarily say that you should share everything about about yourself to everybody. So for me, in my life, when I look at my friends are in sections. So like I have like the beloved, they know everything. They know the name of my manager. They know the name of my subordinate. They know my routine, everything. There are some friends that we only discuss about finances. There are some friends that we only discuss about career, right? There are some friends that we only discuss about relationships. There are some friends that, okay, we only discuss about certain things because probably what brought us together was that common thing.
Yeah.
So for example, the friends I discuss finance with, investment with, I don't necessarily discuss with them about relationships, marriage, or anything, because what brought us together in the first place is to talk about money. We want to make more money, so let's talk about money, and then we the only thing was, okay, so how are you, and but then we just go straight to the topic of money, and then we trash it. But my very close friends, the ones that maybe I have like my beloved, and the ones my threes and all of those things, I I'm vulnerable to them to say, you know what, I would, even if they are not, for example, even like those three right now. So even if we deem it on a pedestal of finance or money, but because I want them to also grow in their finances, I want them to grow in their careers. If I see anything that has to do with finance or careers, I will talk to them about it, because we have common goals in terms of our 12 areas of life, how we want to do it. So we discuss everything together. But like I said, if I meet someone just on the platform of, okay, we want to have some business dealings together, that's why we are friends, or because we belong to a certain club together, and that's why we are friends. We just discuss those specific things, and I don't have to tell them about what is happening in my innermost people or setup. So you should find a way to section your friendship and the information you give to friends based on, okay, what is the basis of this friendship? What did we start on? Because it doesn't make sense for you to, for example, my friends that I discuss finance with, that they are friends because we have some investment, whatever, to do together. It doesn't make sense for me to now start discussing with them about, let me say, career, for example, or my spirituality, my spiritual life, because I might do business with them, but that doesn't necessarily mean they are Christians like I am. You understand what I'm saying? So I have a friend of 18 years, and this is a guy, and he's a Muslim. I call him Alaji. So when I travel to the US, I stay in the guy's house with his wife. We are very close. So there are some, we are very close. But then in terms of my spirituality conference, Christian conference, and all of those things, I don't discuss with him, because I know that we are not aligned in that area. But some other things, we discuss it, because that's how that is the channel for our friendship. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know if I was able to answer that question.
Yes. Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Bukola. Thank you, Bukola. Absolutely. So
Yeah, and so one other thing. So my friend that is a Muslim, right? Like I said, we've been friends for 18 years. So our faith does not separate us from being. So my point is that whether you are a Muslim or a Christian, it doesn't separate you from forging relationship with
people.
with the other, exactly, with the other party. It doesn't form it. It can transcend, because you don't know what what could happen through that person. Like I said, when I travel to the US, and I stay at this my Muslim friend's place, you know, and we are cool. We are 18 years together, very good friends.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Bukola. That was so apt, yeah. So it's just being conscious of who is who, right? You can give access to, and it's everything we've been talking about. You can give access to the inner, circle, but you know just what to say. So I think, and that brings me to the next question. Someone is saying, how can I be more conscious about the words I speak, right? And I believe that the question is not quite clear, but since we're talking about relationships, I think it's about what I share with people and what I think that a lot of relationship building has to do with how we use our mouth, how we share. You have to, if you're a confidence is not a role you take lightly, okay? If you're someone's confident and someone has told you something, you don't even have to wait for them to say don't tell someone before you not, right? You have to handle people's matter with discretion, okay? And it's discipline. You have to be disciplined. And some people say, oh, because, oh, maybe you're outgoing and that's why you just say it and you didn't even know when you said it, but that's not true, okay? I'll speak for Adiola for the longest time. If Adela is very outgoing and she's very, bubbly, right? But for the longest time, if anyone around Adiola tries to gossip, she will come up front and let you know that I'm sorry, I don't gossip. I don't, right? So you can't be the kind of person who uses, the fact that you're liberal to take what people have told you and then just throw it around. So you're not going to be able to build friendship because people can't give you access. For instance, I have friends who I really, really love, but I can't tell them stuff because I know that if I tell them, as it's like going to BBC to go and announce. So I will protect them, right, for their own sake. I mean, some of them are not even wicked. That's the same way they share their own stuff. But you see, discretion is really important in friendships. It's important to be able to keep stuff and keep it so that when the person is then ready to announce it, your privilege of access is that you knew it ahead of people, of others, and so you have to take care about how you use your words in friendship, how your friends should be. I mean, I also heard someone talking, your words show how your loyalty to people, okay? Because if you say you're someone's friend and someone outside is saying, see what I heard about Adiola, and you're like, I know the girl is not, it just shows how loyal you are. But someone shouldn't be able to come to me to talk about Adiola or Bukola and I join them. I could listen to them to say, okay, is there any sense in what they're saying? And I'm listening to them so that if I have to then go to talk to Adiola and Bukola to say, well, I think you're not doing something right, okay? But I won't join the person to say, oh, yes, I always thought Adiola was not, so, okay. Let's quickly move on from there. I'm conscious of the fact that we're past our time and I see a couple of people are, already tired. So let me say, do I need to be emotionally intelligent? Adela, this is for you to maintain a long-lasting relationship.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And emotional intelligence, let's not over-define it. It simply means that you should be sensitive to your friends' emotions. Let's not use big English. It simply means, for very practical example, when I just started out in friendships, I used to call my friend. Then I used to say, because when I grew up, okay, I didn't grow up in Banana Island, but I grew up in Lagos, yeah. And the word "ode" wasn't like an abuse, or "ode, just go away." It wasn't like a heavy abuse. So she would do something like "ode," and then she was like, "I don't like it. That's an abuse." I'm like, "It's not an abuse. It's just like saying, my guy." She was like, "Our mother, my guy thinks." She didn't like it. And I was like, "But it's not that deep." But I was like, "But now." I now saw the way it made her feel. And I didn't like the way it made her feel. And so but the question you just touched now, how do I control what I'm saying? I hope that's what the person means, or part of what the person means. I then had to stop myself from saying what I thought was okay because of how it touched my friend. That's emotional maturity or emotional intelligence. To say, what kind of emotion am I transferring to this person that I say I truly like? So look at the way you are behaving. How is it affecting the person you are in a relationship with? If the person doesn't like both of you getting late for school, I mean, whatever, let's say you guys are going out together. Yes, I know you like to do your makeup and it takes you 2 hours, but try and maybe you do your foundation and then go and draw your eyeliner or do your lipstick when you guys get to the venue. Do whatever you need to do to transfer happy emotions to your friend, but because people will remember how you make them feel. Yeah. They remember. There's so much. See, if we were here till 12, and we're talking about friendships, we won't leave this place. I have stories upon stories, right? Stories upon stories. However, if you treat your friend with levity, maybe she's just my friend, you won't go far with that friendship. You won't go far. If my friend says she's coming to my house, if I'm not available that day, as I'm not available, the day she's coming, I will make sure, like, do you understand the way we handle our friends? What kind of feeling are you communicating? Are you making the person feel loved? Are you making them feel honored? Or you're just saying, if I call you a day, what's there? Oh, it's not a big deal. What's there? No, how is it making her feel? That in my definition for this purpose is where emotional maturity comes in. Thank you, Dario.
I think it's so apt. Yeah, it's just being emotionally sensitive, nothing more, nothing less. Okay. So another question here says, how do I come out of a toxic friendship? I'll just say toxic friendship, right? Give it space. Okay. But one of the things that I have realized is that people who fall into toxic friendships continuously also have a personal issue, right? Because a toxic friendship demonstrates what you're promoting, it demonstrates what you're allowing, what you're breeding. So, whether consciously or unconsciously, whether friendship or dating relationship, if you realize that you constantly have toxic people around you, you need to check what you're attracting yourself. You need to check why you're attracting what you're attracting, and you need to correct that. Okay. So, it's important that, but then how do you come out? So when you have identified that a relationship is toxic, I mean, before you conclude, of course, have conversations, try to change things. I'm assuming that you have gotten to the point where you have had all the conversations and, you're not seeing any change. Then what you need to do at that point is to give yourself space. Okay. If a relationship is the access you have given the relationship, that's how you guys got to the point where it's able to get toxic to you. So you only have to retract that access. You have to get back. Okay. And I know that step might be a difficult step because maybe you're already very close. Your life is sort of, around the person, and it might be difficult at first, but you have to be disciplined to give that space, okay, for a while, and allow yourself heal. Allow yourself heal, forgive the person, but allow yourself heal first. Because if you don't allow yourself heal, forgiveness might then be tough. If you have a wound, right, on your hand, and somebody, is trying to just shake you and play, and the person just does something like this, because you already have a wound, it's going to even hurt more. But if you didn't have a wound and your friend is just trying to play, and if your friend does something like this, okay, you're just going to hit back and smile. So it's important that you allow your wound heal, get the help that you need, get all the love, and care. Then go back to decide, okay, I probably should reclassify this person. I probably should give this person space. I should probably release this person to their destiny. But then what's important is that you fix the reason that causes you to continually attract a wrong friendship or a wrong dating relationship. Because at the end of the day, you see everything that we're saying, right, is really around responsibility. You're responsible for your joy. You're responsible for how you allow toxicity come to you. You're responsible for what you take in and what you push out. Okay. So you have to then build emotional resilience to ensure that toxic stays at the door, and you have a very restful, peaceful, and enjoyable relationship. Okay, Bukola, next, I would ask, I think it's about the same thing. How do I treat the issue of odds in relationships? So I will just let you. How do I treat odds?
Um, yeah, I think it's almost the same thing.
Yeah.
But so I would say that, the first thing is that you want to acknowledge that you're hurting. You have to be able to accept that fact, because that's where you start the journey to healing. And then the next thing you want to know is that you want to address it. You want to address it with the person, with your friend. Actually, don't run away from it. Don't say I don't want the person to feel like I'm complaining. No, that's why you're friends, right? So talk about the issue, and don't focus on the personality, right? Focus on the facts when you are discussing it. And also make sure you tell the other person how you feel. Make sure you tell them how you feel, because they might not know that what you like what they did to you actually hurts, or you're feeling in a particular, you felt a particular way what they did to you. So it is your duty to tell the person, because sometimes people are very oblivious of what they've done to other people. So, and if you notice that, okay, this person is not even realizing that I'm hurting, then talk about it. Say, okay, this is how it actually make me feel, and there's no shame in that, right? um
And we go on mute. I think someone's.
Someone, okay. So I remember was a couple of days ago or something. A friend of mine did something to me that really hurt me, and um, so we sat down, three of us. We sat down and we discussed it. And I felt like I felt really hurt. And I told them exactly how I felt. I said, you know what, I felt really bad. I felt disappointed. I felt, that you didn't take me serious. I felt like a fool. This is exactly what I told my friends, you know. So, and I realized that the moment I told them that this is how I felt, it helped me. So I felt the moment I was able to share how how I felt about the whole situation, it helped me to to become better. It was like a weight was lifted off my heart that was really causing the hurt. And then sometimes people when people hurt you, they some if they are really your friends, and if they are your friends in terms of your values were aligned, sometimes the things they do to you is not because they want to hurt you. They do it to maybe protect you, or they think, okay, this is the best decision I should do now because I want to protect my friend. And when my friend now told me, I did this because I wanted to protect you, and I felt if I do this, if I tell you this and this, it will make you feel bad, but I'm just trying to protect you. And then I was able to understand why she did what she did, or why she didn't do what she did not do. And that is the other thing. So apart from talking about the issue, apart from telling them, expressing to your friend how exactly you feel, say it out, let them hear, so that it won't repeat itself again. Also try to listen to them and understand why they did, or why they, what was the thing behind their action, because it would help you to heal. When my
Yeah.
friend now told me why she did what she did, I understood, okay, yeah, she's just trying to protect me at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I now told her that, you know what, you know, you can express love to me. The way I interpret it could be different.
Yeah.
So you can express love to people, but the way people would interpret the love can be different, and that's another thing entirely. So accept love, but the way you interpret it can be really different. And it's the same thing when people watch you, especially when they are your friends.
Mhm.
Sometimes they don't really mean it. So just try to discuss it, tell them how you feel, and listen to them, understand why they did what they what did. And when you do that, it also helps them to say, okay, you know what, I won't do it again, or this should not repeat itself. Because for me, what that happened was that something else happened, that was similar to what caused the hurt for me, and my friend immediately understood that, okay, I cannot do this thing to this lady again. So she quickly told me that, this and this, and then we are both cool. We are both fine. And that's the way I see it.
Thank you so much, Bukola. That was beautiful. I should also balance that for a lot of teenagers, they have not built their friendships, to a point where they can, as in they're talking about some of those relationships whereby, they're trying to date, they're trying to start friendships, some of those relationships are real hurt. And it might be also helpful to let them know that if somebody has hurt you in that way, right, you can walk away from that kind of friendship. You can give it a break. And one of the ways that you can also check, am I taking this thing too far? Am I over personalizing it? Is to ask a an independent third party who you trust. This person has done this thing to me. Am I taking it too personally, or is it wrong? Right? Is it really wrong? So that you know how to separate things and how to know whether, okay, this is something to find healing from. And if the relationship is a dating relationship by any means, right? And somebody has hurt you so bad, it's just important. I mean, look to your loved ones, look to the people who care about you around you to get the healing that you need. Yeah. Bukola, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I wanted to say that, that when that thing happened, I had to, like, to see that, okay, I'm not, misconstruing the whole thing. I had to, like, talk to a third party, like a neutral third party, to say, okay, you know what, help me check my thought process. And this neutral third party helped me to validate some of my feelings. And then the person also pointed my attention to things I didn't realize my friend was trying to do for me. So talking to a third party sometimes helps, right?
Yeah.
That's what I also did that, and it really helped me to heal very fast.
Okay. Thank you, Bukola. My phone is not unlocking for some reason. Okay. So Adjola, I'll ask you this question. I'll just join two questions. There's a question on the screen. The person has sent me a chat. She asked a question, but she has dropped off. But I'm sure she would listen to the recording. So I'll ask the two questions together. One of it is, how can I maintain a relationship with the opposite sex without any mixed feelings? That's one. And the other one, she says that is it wrong to cook for a guy? Right? Is it wrong that people say that why is she always doing that? So please, can you just
very quickly, let me let me go to that. Is it wrong to cook for a guy? No, it's not wrong to cook for a guy. Right? It's not wrong. Because initially when I saw the question, I was like, cooking for a guy, sister of God, you know what I'm saying? But really, it's not wrong to cook for a guy, right? Because I reflected back to when I was in university. I had some classmates who were staying in the same PG hall, it was PG hall, right? And they would stop by our rooms. Amaka, do you know what you guys cook now? Like, we have your manego, yeah, come and eat now. We'll cook, they will eat. What are you guys making? We have a bar now, yeah, come now. Yeah, you guys go and buy water. We don't have water. Like, we're classmates. And so I get it, right? And there was nothing between us. Now, let me add this. All of us listening on this call, including myself, you all know, as the woman, you know when this guy is sending you signals, you know, right? So at that point, you know that, yeah, PG Hall, Sunset PG Hall, brings back memories.
Yeah.
So you know when you are crossing the line with this person. You know when this person is beginning to take advantage of you. They will sit in your room every day, and you are the ones feeding them every single day, right? It's a different thing when they stop by from time to time. Like I explained, you guys are friends. What did you guys cook now? Like, we just made yam and ego. I remember specifically that we used to make lots of yam. But I don't know why, for some funny reason. Or rice. Okay, we have rice. Sometimes we'd even tell the guys, okay, you buy sardine. We have stuff, we'll add the sardine. All of us would eat. Even when I was a copper, okay, I have vegetable. You guys come. All we need to do is eba. It was community eating, like it was fun. But you know, all Habib knows, Christian, when it is now becoming extra service. When I say extra service, this guy will come and sit in your room day in, day out, 4 o'clock without fail. Maybe not 4 o'clock, but you know that this person is beginning to take advantage of you, right? And you are beginning to do more than you should. Then somebody asked the question, how do you stop a toxic relationship? You just stop cooking. Yes, Lydia, you just stop cooking. So when the person comes on Tuesday, say, I'm not cooking today. That's so. You don't even need any explanation. You don't have to add because. I'm not cooking today. Leave the because. The person will, the because will come from them. Oh God. They will discover their own because. I'm not cooking today. And then you'll be pressing your phone. Now, even have WhatsApp. Just be pressing Instagram or WhatsApp. Don't be pressing. Be sending Auntie Dayo a message. Auntie Dayo, I'm just checking how you are doing. How are you doing today? I'm telling you. Do that step by step. Just be pressing. That's one. Now, the second question, how do I maintain a healthy relationship with a guy? Right? With the opposite sex. Yes. Dayo answered the question. If you will not eat it, don't smell it. Auntie, uncle, if you will not eat it, don't smell it. You don't want to, you want to maintain a healthy relationship. You don't want it to be that we don't know what we are doing. We don't know what this thing is turning into. When it buys you credit, don't take it. When it says, let us go and sit down, only the two of us at 8 p.m. by the water, why are you following him? Are you people looking for the Holy Spirit together? If you're not on, well, I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. If you know that you don't want to lead the guy on and you want to maintain a healthy relationship, create boundaries that show him where the relationship ends. Don't collect any extra gifts. Don't go out with him to places that you know people that are dating go to. Or you want ice cream. Then you followed him on Monday for ice cream. Valentine's Day, you're not his girlfriend, but you followed him to take ice cream. Then on his birthday, it's only you that was with him in his house, and his mother was seeing you, but you are not in a relationship. What did I say last time? Just go and do marriage certificates. You know, sometimes we like to deceive ourselves. You are dating a guy, legit dating this guy, going now, spending time, you collecting all his gifts, but you want to maintain a healthy relationship. It's not going to happen that way. So the best thing to do is say, I'm going to send the right signals, meaning I will not collect your gifts. I will not go and hang out with you at 8 p.m. I will not pick your call at 11:30 p.m. I've done it. I spoke on the phone. This wickedness. From 12 midnight to 5 a.m. Then when it's almost 5, we'll call the call and start again. So I think we'll last till 6 p.m. And guess what, Dayo? You will not believe it. I was not in a relationship with this person. And it's a lie, we're not seeking the face of God, though. It's a lie. It's not we're searching scripture. We're not searching anything. What were we doing? I was deceiving myself that we are just friends and we'll spend 5 hours together. The day the thing fell from my eye, I took the SIM cards that the person was always calling and I removed it from the phone. I was like, if they are doing you, at least you won't do yourself. So I removed the SIM card. Like, no, come on, like, we have to juice it. So it's very easy. You want to define a relationship, check what you are doing, check the access you have given, check what you are accepting, and answer your own question. Thank you.
Absolutely. Angela, you are breaking tables. See comments flowing like, you know what? Funny enough, I have examples with these two things. So the first one is cooking, right? Besides the people who come to eat in your house, there's a part where you also go to the guy's house to cook because you feel, oh, you're dating now. Yeah, that part is there, Jola. So let me tell you what happened while I was in Ife also. I was dating a guy and he was staying in quarters, right? Quarters means that I'm in the staff area away from the hostel. And so thinking like dutiful now, I didn't even go and cook there. But you see, I'll cook and then take it there and sort of try to serve and try to, you see, but I realized that when you start to do things like that, you'll be too relaxed for the kind of boundaries you should have, because you're not married. So when you get there and you relax and everybody's eating and you're let down, a lot of things can happen. Before you know it, you start to engage, in some levels of intimacy. And that was what I started to experience. But you see, because we're both serious people, I was like, oh no, I won't do this again. We can't continue to meet here. Do you see? I'm not your wife. We're not, thankfully, of course, we never got to any, deeper, but because we corrected ourselves. And, so I also heard a story then. Someone comes to your house, you're in the kitchen, the person comes and says, Cynthia, thank you so much for cooking for me. Or thank you so much for, you're going to allow what you really are not planning to allow. So the way to build boundaries is that, say, we're not married and, we don't owe each other this thing right now. Okay. So let's focus on what we owe each other now as we're building this relationship. When we get to marriage, you will cook. Women, you will cook, right? Ladies, you will cook and you'll be tired. You won't hire people to cook for you. So please don't start doing what you are still going to do, for long. And the other part where we say, how do I maintain relationship with the opposite sex? I think orientation is also very key. What were you taught, right? Were you taught that if I have a boyfriend or if a boy touches me, I'll get pregnant? If it's such that you can't even be comfortable and be normal around, a girl or a boy. Okay, so I think you have to think about what you were taught about relationships, what you were taught about the opposite sex, who taught you what you thought, and what are you still holding on to? So you have to think about it and make it normal. While Diola was answering the question around cooking, she was talking about her, and I remember that scenario vividly, how, the guys would come, everybody was playing. There was no room in that kind of setting for some mixed feelings or necessary. So you have to realize, you guys, if you have brothers, right, that boys are just our brothers, except the one who becomes your husband is your brother in a way. Okay, so just relax. You can't marry all of the guys in the world, or all of the fine boys, or all of the kind of specs you have. So don't go and, I read a book recently, Grace Junkie, and was saying that, ladies have to be careful that they don't turn people who are supposed to be their future business partners, their future, into dating, whether you have dated everybody around you. So you have to really question yourself. Who taught you about relationships? What were you taught and what have you held on to? Okay, so all of those things are very key. Let me go on to the next question. So I think that'll be you, Bukola. It says, what's the advice for someone who finds it hard to make friends? What's the advice for someone who finds it hard to make friends? What's your advice?
Okay, my advice to someone who finds it hard to make friends is that so it's not a bad thing to find it hard to make friends, because I didn't really know how to make friends. So I didn't really have a lot of friends as such. But what I did was that once I have a friend, or when I want to get into like friendships, I make sure it's like really quality ones, right? But the truth is that you need friends, you need people, because at the end of the day, people makes the world go around. You cannot do life alone. You need friends. Don't let anybody tell you, who needs friends anyway? No, it's a lie. You need friends. You need people. Now, if you're finding it hard to, you know, to make friends, I don't want to tell you any school or biology or textbook things, but then I would just, for my own personal experience, is that I would ask myself, so first, why do I even want to have a friend at this particular time and at this space? What's the goal for me? Because it doesn't make sense for me to have a friend that I really don't have a goal for. I don't want to make friends for friendship's sake, because it costs time, it costs energy. Yeah. Friendship is expensive, let's put it that way. Okay, so friendship is expensive. So you want to know, why do I even want to have this friend in the first place, right? And then if you understand the reason why you think that friendship is important, that you should have, then it would help you to start, saying, okay, so who can I make, who can be my friend now in this space? I told you about when I went for my youth service, and then I was alone. I didn't have any of my close friends around. So I knew that I need to have a new friend in that space, because I didn't want to be alone. And that was my why. So I looked around, and then I was able to identify someone that I think, we could click, and then it worked. So it was difficult. There were some other people that I could have also made my friend, but I chose that person. I stuck to that person. And then from that friendship, some other people joined us, and we became like not just 2 people. I think we became 4 or 5 people together, having that close what's it called, close network of friendship. So my point is that if it's difficult for you to make friends, first find out, why do you even need friends? Do you want to have a friend in the first place? Once you find the reason why, that would help you to say, okay, to really work towards making something happen. And then you have to also make yourself friendly. You have to, like we discussed before, you have to be able to show kindness, show love, offer something, right? And then it becomes easier. Try to, talk to people, open your mouth. Don't say people and don't see people and say hello, smile, see people and say hello, smile to them. Just say, how are you? How are you today? And then that's how you start to get conversation going, and from there you can become an acquaintance and become friends. So basically, and if you're able to make at least 1 or 2 good ones, it could be that those ones would now help you to even expand your network further. For example, I didn't know Madam Adela before I joined this call. Now she's a friend of my friend, and a friend of my friend has also become my friend, right? So I'm sure after this call, I would also reach out to her, or we'll reach out to each other, and say, okay, how can we, take this further? So those are some of the ways you can overcome that feeling of, okay, it's difficult for me to make friends.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So Bukola is just saying that, whatever your temperament, whatever your personality type, right? The important thing is to position for friendship. You don't have to change yourself, but by just a simple smile, gesture, and understanding that, one friend might be your route to many friends. Okay. So I will someone is asking this question: how can I mend relationships? I know that I messed up with my antisocial vibes. Right, I'll just answer this quickly to say that, if you have messed up and you are admitted that you have messed up, you're probably in the best place, okay? And so what's important is that you you go to the person who you feel that you have not done well to. And it's not even just with unsocial vibes. If you have messed up a friendship in one way or the other, because having said all that we have said, be intentional, be kind, be nice, show love, you see, we're humans and we make mistakes too. So if you have offended somebody, and perhaps this is a good way to, you know, as we're rounding up, to think about the friends that you have had in the past, the friends you have taken for granted, the friends you have offended, right? Write up something and say to them, I think you were such a good friend, but I didn't, you know, appreciate you as I should have. I didn't, you know, I did this and this to this. I'm sorry, I apologize. You know, many times we just want to get by. We just want to, you know, we have hurt people and we just want them to come back and just be our friends again. We have to, you know, be considerate of them and know that, you know, they don't owe us anything but love. And so if you have done wrong, it's important that you own up first and say, you know what, I messed up, I did this and this, and I still want to be your friend because I treasure this friendship, right? That kind of honesty will ensure that you keep on with the right friendships, okay? So, finally, the question someone is asking, what are the do's and don'ts? I mean, I came here to say we're not handing out do's and don'ts, we're sharing our experiences, but I will let both of you just share, you know, perhaps recapping, you know, what are the things people should do, what are things people should not do regarding building relationships, friendships, and making it long lasting. I'll start with you, Adiola, and then Bukola, and then we'll call it a wrap.
I'll say one major do, one major thing, or maybe one major thing you should not do. Let me start from there, because I see this is one of the things I think has really helped me. Don't use the yardstick that the world uses for your own friendship. So if you go on Instagram now, you will see things like, anybody that doesn't do this, I block them. Anybody that doesn't do this, I cut off. If my friend tries this, I block them. There are so many things my friend has done to me that's deserved blocking or cutting off. That I told myself that what kind of fair weather friendship is that? And I'm not saying that the person came and did something terrible, but your friend is first a human being, and so are you. You guys are going to have misunderstanding. So the very first thing, don't use the same yardstick to say, I called my friend. For example, I called my friend 6 times. She didn't call me back. She called me back after 3 days. What kind of friendship is that? Am I the one chasing this friendship? Mine is to say, in fact, I'm like, I understand why my friend didn't call me back in 3 days. It's because my friend knows that she knows that I know that she's busy and she's attending to some things. Then when she remembered it was midnight and she forgot, I will conclude in my mind that this is why my friend didn't do this. Do you see? Because I'm fighting for that relationship. So don't judge, don't use the yardsticks you see on social media to judge your own friendships. If not, we will all not have friends. Because one day you will call your friend and she will not pick. You will send a message and she will not respond until 4 days after, particularly when they start to have children. So that's number one, don't. So just one do, show love. Everybody wants to be loved. Every single person wants to be loved. And I've told a story, but I see that time is fast spent. Show love in any little way you can, even if let me tell you what, very quickly. My friend was I think she was turning 20. I was a youth corper. I had just, I think 9,000 naira or 18,000 naira? I can't remember. I think it was 9,000 naira. Yes, it was 9,000 naira. I sent my friend, I think she was turning 19 or 20. I can't remember exactly, or 21. I sent her 100 naira recharge card 21 times. So I'll send the first one. When I sent the first one, she was like, thank you. I sent the second one. I sent it like that 21. How much did I have? 9,000. How much was I sending? 100 naira recharge card. It blew her mind. In fact, it got to a point she was like, what number are you going to stop? I'm like, how old are you? Oh, Benny, take this credit. Take this credit. So show love. You don't have to have so much money. And if you don't have so much recharge card, write a letter. Use your hand, write the letter. Paint it beautifully. Take your phone and snap a picture and say, I'm sending you this personalized letter. There are many ways to be creative. So show love. Yeah, that's it for me. Thank you, Darren.
Thank you, Adiola. That was so beautiful. So beautiful. Thank you. Bukola.
Yeah, thank you, Adiola. That's so out. Yeah, so one thing that has helped me in my relationships is that, or in my friendships, is that loyalty is really important when you're thinking about friendships. Be loyal. and show yourself to be loyal, and be loyal and show yourself to be loyal. When people know that you are for them, when they know that you are for them, they will pay more attention to you. And this is especially for people who are still trying to build up, So show your loyalty. Let them know that, I am for you. Don't leave them alone, especially when they are going through tough times. Don't be that friend that is always there when things are rosy. Help them to carry their burden. Be loyal to them. So that's one thing that I would say that you should definitely do. One thing that I would say that you should not do is that, and it's one thing, that's one that I've seen that's really affected a lot of friendship, is that when your friend confide in you on something, my brothers and sisters, it is a confiding. Don't let let that thing die with you. Don't even your mother or your father, don't because she didn't send you message or he didn't send you message to help broadcast it, right? So if somebody is vulnerable to you and they're telling you how it hurts, take it as a gem, because it's their life. Because if a third party hears that thing, that could ruin them or could do something really bad to them. And if anything happens to you, it's on you. So those are the two things. Don't spread people's matters.
Thank you, Bukola.
Yeah.
I'm sure what I'm saying will probably not be different from what they have said. I mean, it's just to emphasize, be intentional about friendships and relationships. Be genuinely interested in the other person. Okay, don't just be there to get, be also there to give. Look how to give and watch how you build. Right? Watch how you build friendships, evaluate your friendships, evaluate yourself. And, if at any point in time you find that you're no longer interested in a friendship, right, let them go. Don't take from them. Don't, strip them off of, whatever they're bringing to the table. Okay, just let them go with a lot of decency and a lot of respect. And that applies to every relationship. Relationship also have seasons. There are seasons of relationship, right? Close the door gently if you ever need to close the door. Okay. And of course, like Bukola has said, loyalty is very key. Loyalty is, really key. And think of friendships as a very long-term thing. So everything you do, is either pulling down or building up the friendship. And at the end of the day, it's not just about having friends for 30 years, 18 years. It's how you build those friendships that matter at the end of the day. So yeah, okay. Christiana is saying she feels she has promoted a lot of people prematurely. Yeah, so watch how you build, watch how you promote people, watch how you grant access to people. And one thing I started to learn, is that boundaries are important. Boundaries are really important in relationship. Have healthy boundaries, right? Boundaries are not supposed to separate us, but they're supposed to help us respect each other in relationships. Okay, so that's it for me. I would not like to thank you guys. Thank you, Adiola Bukola, for this really, really, truly enjoyable conversations. Okay, Christina says it's not her. Okay, so thank you. I enjoyed the conversation through and through. And of course, we'll make the recording available. If you'll check us out as Virtual Big Sister, we have would have the recording on the link there, on the bio there, where you can watch on YouTube over and over again. Thank you so much, everyone who joined. Thank you so much, Mrs. Abimbola Onokoya, my mentor. I'm so grateful, Ma. I appreciate that you started very early and stayed through to the end. Thank you so much, Ma.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me listen to you. I heard all kinds of opinions and I really appreciate it. And I know that if you all start like this, especially with all this reference to Jesus, 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 I want to believe that God in his infinite mercy will guide you on life's journey. Thank you so much for letting me be part of your world. I appreciate you indeed.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. And just thank you so much to all of the community people, Mubarak, Christiana, Ebo, Habib. Thank you, Lola, my friend. Thank you, Lydia, Naomi, Joel. Thank you, my sister, TJ. Thank you, Wura. Thank you so much for everyone for staying through And I'm sure you had a good time. I'm looking forward to listen over and again and just learn, because I learned a lot too. Relationship is that ever evolving thing. No one is perfect at it, right? So it's just about us getting better. So cheers to greater relationships, long lasting and productive relationships. Have a good evening, everyone, and thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye,
Thank you,
everyone.
Dayo.
Thank you, Dayo.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank you,
Diola.
Paula. Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.